Accidents happen to the best of us. Sometimes it happens to teach us a lesson, while other times it happens as a blessing. And with Clash of Champions, aka Night of Champions, being right around the corner, I'm like, why not go over some of the pay-per-views botches throughout the years it's been alive for? And so you're watching 5 live WWE accidents that happened on Clash of Champions. You know we gotta start off our list with a bang, and what better way to start off with the one and only
Are you ready? I remember seeing a Clash of Champions right after I left WCW. And I can't remember who Tom Zink was wrestling, but I remember definitely it was Zink. He hit him with a drop kick or whatever, and the heel took a bump. And Zink jumped up in the middle of the ring and turned left and ran to the turnbuckles and jumped up on the second turnbuckle and did a turnaround flying crossbody off into the middle of the ring. Now, the only problem with that was when he drop kicked the heel forgot he was supposed to feed up for a crossbody, and he just took a bump and rolled to the other side. So it effectively, Zink jumped up on live national television, ran to the far corner away from his opponent, jumped up on the turnbuckles, and dove in apparently an attempt to commit suicide. Just dove out into an empty fucking ring and landed on his face. And everybody was like, what the fuck?
I remember who that opponent was.
Who was it?
It was primetime Brian Lee.
Oh my God. You know what? You're right. It certainly was.
when Cesaro and Sheamus went up against each other on Clash of Champions 2016 for their final Best of 7 series matchup. Both men put on a great match without a doubt, but one moment that scared all of us, from the people watching at home and to the people that were there in the arena live, was when Cesaro attempted a horrendous dive through the ropes to only find himself at a close call to breaking his neck in front of the whole world. Not only was Cesaro not injured, thankfully, but it also created a disgusting botch that still to this day is pretty hard to watch. Since then, Cesaro has not attempted to redo it and has also promised to never do anything close to what he pulled off in that night ever again.
But like every match, it's got better and better. And as I said, Indianapolis was unbelievable. Like it just
great match. I remember
it just kept getting better and better and better. He almost killed himself with that plancha through the rope.
That's the last dive I ever done, by the way.
Remember I told you after, don't ever do that again. You're too big to do that.
I look at you, I was like, yep, yeah.
That scared the shit out of me, man. That scared the shit out of me.
You went for the dive, but you kind of just stopped short.
I have a bald head that gets sweaty, so I think I just slipped off, and then I landed, and I was like, all right, don't do that one again. It was like one of those, like I immediately knew it. I was like, popped up and like, okay.
Yeah, it's so bad that you don't even sell it. That's when you know that you've scared yourself when you don't even sell it. You just get right back up again.
All right, cool.
Because we talked about it. I was like, dude, you're too big to do dives. Don't do dives. And then you did that dive, and it's like, oh my gosh, I hope he's alive.
And like, you know, I was even thinking, it was one of those, I was like, oh, I'm running. I put my hands out front. I was like, oh, well, you know, like this is me having a conversation in my head during the 2 seconds it takes to run the ropes. I was like, oh, this is going to be a great dive. I'm going to get as much speed as I can. All right, hands up front. Now, you know what would be cool? If I wouldn't put my hands up front, just a straight headbutt. This is going to be great. Yeah, super. Like, I was thinking Black Warrior. Like, this is going to be my Black Warrior dive. Like, oh.
Notice how he had zero thought for me about how any of this is going to end up with me. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. It was great.
I was like, Shavey's out there.
No, Shavey would be grand. I'm not going to hit him in the head with anything. But, like, that's what it was. But that's what you do, you know? Like, when you're got a point to prove and you're trying to prove yourself and you know, make people remember how good you are, they're the risks you take, you know, like it's you just keep trying to push the bar further and further and further.
After winning his match against John Cena at SummerSlam 2015 to become the new US champion while also being the WWE champion, Rollins was on top of the world, and the one way to celebrate his victory was to have his own statue, just like all of the other great legends in the business that had one to their name. Obviously, as part of the storyline, a Seth Rollins statue was made and brought out on the next day on Raw in the middle of the ring, or as we thought. cause right as the cover was taken off the so-called statue, Sting out of all people is seen standing tall as everyone in the arena looks on in disbelief. As both go at each other for a brief moment, Sting concludes by raising up the WWE Champion as a clear sign for a title shot at the next upcoming pay-per-view, which if you couldn't tell by now was Night of Champions. As the match is on between the two on the day of, both go on to fight for about 10 minutes or so until Seth Rollins throws Sting's body onto the top turnbuckle, in which Sting's body just gives up on him as the harsh throw from Seth really put a toll on Sting's back. As the officials check up on him for a couple minutes, the match gets resumed, and minutes after the injury, Seth rolls Sting up from his Scorpion Deathlock finisher and picks up a win to yet again remain the WWE Champion.
I don't like to hurt anybody. That's a tough one. I've had a couple situations where stuff has happened accidentally, and I smashed John Cena's nose, for example, a couple years ago, and that was like one of the first times I really ever hurt anybody. And
so you hated that?
I hate it, yeah.
Because it turned out to be great for the story.
No, it was great, and obviously, John didn't care, and he knows how things happen and stuff like that. But like for me, I don't like to do that to anybody. That's not what we're trying to accomplish in our industry, and so that kind of shakes me a little bit more than or the Sting thing. Like even though there was nothing I could do about that at all. Like there was nothing I could have done. Like that bothers me more than when I hurt my knee or whatever. That was whatever. That's just my body. It'll heal. It's fine. No big deal.
Yeah.
And when you hurt someone like Sting specifically, like do you go and like start apologizing right away? Do you go and like avoid everyone and just try to get your head together? Like
no. I mean that's the first. I mean I feel like I'm a person that I just, first thing I do, my natural instinct would be to apologize if I screwed something up or I felt like I screwed something up or if I hurt this guy. So 100% I went, go to him and, oh, dude, I'm so sorry if there's anything I can do. Like, you need, do you want me to go to the hospital with you? Is there anything like I can make sure that this is the easiest experience for you? Because I know what it's like to be on the other end of it and it's not fun. So, but like I said, we're all professionals. We all get it. So it's not like there's any animosity.
Right.
It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, my first instinct was to go to him and to apologize.
Now, although this moment didn't happen on the day of Night of Champions, you'll see in a bit on how it relates to the pay-per-view itself. In a women's battle royal back in 2012, which was to determine a #1 contender spot for the Divas Championship, shocked all of us with a moment that will probably be never forgotten about. Once we realized days later that the winner of that battle royal, which was Kaitlyn, was a botched finish, it could clearly be seen as a true statement when the Divas Champion herself, who was Layla at the time, could be seen just as shocked and furious at the same time. See, the thing is that it was supposed to be Eve Torres with the win so that she can go on and face Layla at the Night of Champions pay-per-view, especially when you take in the fact that Kaitlyn had only been in the main roster for a couple years at that time period. So her winning not only confused the fans, but even herself, as she could be seen asking then referee Brad Maddox if she had actually won. Now, a quick note to add is that Eve did eventually take on Layla at the Night of Champions pay-per-view instead of Kaitlyn after she was kayfabe attacked from the back at the night of the pay-per-view.
Tell me something I've always been curious about. This was a long time ago, but I didn't get to talk to you a long time ago.
Okay.
So now I need to know.
You've been holding it bottled up inside for a
Oh,
while.
every day. I wake up thinking this.
Okay.
In 2012, you won a battle royal. You became the #1 contender for the Divas Championship. Was this a botched ending? Were you supposed to win the match?
You know what? In those types of situations, anything can happen.
Oh, give
And
me!
we'll
I've been
just-
holding this for so
and we'll
long.
just say that it was very unexpected.
You were
And
surprised.
I was very surprised, and it's funny because that actually started my career, basically. I've been on the roster for 3 years, but that was like the moment where everything kind of started shifting for me, where I started becoming relevant, and I from there I had to prove myself that I deserved that spot.
Now, when you're new and you're starting and everything, is it difficult to not only prove to people that you deserve to be pushed to a certain level, but prove to the locker room, I belong here?
Yeah, definitely. Which is like any sport, like any locker room. You have to prove yourself. You have to prove that you deserve to be there, that you want it bad enough, that you're willing to work hard enough for it. And a lot of the times in WWE, it's all about opportunities. You just have to be ready for whenever an opportunity presents itself. And I will say I was not ready at that exact moment, but then I realized...
Well, most opportunities don't present themselves on live TV.
True, and I'm going to say this, there's absolutely nothing that can compare to being on live TV. Right. We always say that nothing can go wrong because it's,
right.
What do you do? You know, so
it was all supposed to happen.
So I was very surprised when that happened, and it was pretty much what kickstarted my career, and I've had had an amazing rivalry with Eve, and she retired and I won the title from her, and
right.
That's what started it all.